not hard for Republicans to look good these days. We're up against the folks who gave you record high inflation. We're up against folks who closed schools and then told you that teachers unions know what's best for your kids. We're up against folks who'd rather let repeat offenders walk free than get tough on crime.
Fast Zone News here, back with more breaking news, and today we're going to be seeing the rhino of all rhinos, Mitch MCConnell, get absolutely embarrassed in front of his own crowd. Mitch was speaking at Kentucky's annual Fancy Farm picnic over the weekend and got mercilessly booed by the entire crowd. So we got an article here from Daily Mail pulled up, basically going over what we're talking about. Mitch MCConnell, 81, is humiliated as he's drowned out by chants of retire and mercilessly booed for 5 minutes straight during speech to his own constituents in Kentucky. Literally to his own people. And then if we scroll down, we've got some reactions here. Colin Rugg. Republican Senator Mitch MCConnell gets humiliated during a speech as Kentuckians completely drown him out, telling him to retire. And he goes on to say, Mitch MCConnell is the definition of the swamp, which is totally accurate. Scroll down a little bit more, we just see how elderly Mitch actually looks. He's got the extra baggy look going here with the cell phone clipped on the belt, which is a very interesting look that we have here. Wouldn't want him to be my senator, but scroll down a little bit further, just more. Looks like this is probably a different angle of what happened. Look at him. Mitch looks so lost. Is he just standing there? But yeah, okay, so that's a clip from Twitter. Scroll down a little bit further. Yeah, this is what I was looking for. Donald Trump even got in on the action. He goes, I agree, boo, retire, retire, boo. Trump's always got to get in the mix, you know. I mean, McConnell was totally against Trump towards the end of his term, which obviously rubbed Trump the wrong way. Yeah, I think that's the end of the article here. So as you guys can see, Mitch has probably made his final Fancy Farm speech, and I think it's totally warranted. The crowd was even chanting things like lost the Senate, which is obviously completely accurate. Mitch MCConnell made it a point in last year's Senate race to not support any Trump-backed candidates, and I think it pissed a lot of people off. It was extremely strange to see Mitch, who's the Republican Senate leader, not support any candidates backed by the most popular Republican president in history. The races were all extremely close, and if MCConnell would have put his funding behind the Trump-backed candidates, many think it would have been a different outcome. So I think it's right for these Kentucky residents to be upset. Mitch is clearly failing them and the country as a senator. MCConnell has been in the Senate for nearly 40 years, and it's clear that he no longer has the Republicans' best interests at mind. I think it's way past time to replace MCConnell as Senate leader, and I think we'd be way better off with someone like Rand Paul. But with that being said, let's see stroked out MCConnell get absolutely embarrassed in front of his home state.
I just told David Beck his introduction is longer than my speech. Elaine and I are really excited to be back at Fancy Farm on behalf of the strongest Republican team we've ever run in our state. For those of you who keep count, this is my 28th Fancy Farm. My 28th Fancy Farm. I want to thank Father Venters and Stephen Elder for finding a way to keep Fancy Farm going, even with pork prices going through the roof. Thanks to the Kentucky State Police and local law enforcement who are keeping folks safe this weekend. Now here's the challenge for the police. Here's the challenge for the police. With the shutdown governor in charge, I'm sure state troopers are just glad to be on church property without having to tag license plates. My friends, I'll be honest, it's not hard for Republicans to look good these days. We're up against the folks who gave you record high inflation. We're up against folks who closed schools and then told you that teachers unions know what's best for your kids. We're up against folks who'd rather let repeat offenders walk free than get tough on crime. I'm glad Governor Beshear finally decided to come to Fancy Farm. It's been the first Saturday in August for 143 years. But Andy only seems to make time for you all when he's staring down Election Day. Friends, I know a little something about beating Beshears. But let me tell you, Andy makes his dad look like a Republican. Steve Beshear, his dad, thought woke was what he did from his nightmare Senate race in 1996. But Andy, he speaks liberal with a California accent. So make no mistake, Biden and Beshear are as thick as thieves, and not just because they want to rob you blind in taxes. But don't take my word for it. Let's just look at Andy's record. He closed down businesses and schools while keeping liquor stores open. He shut down churches and sent state troopers to harass the faithful on Easter Sunday. And he's forcing the woke agenda on students and teachers. And might as well be running for mayor of San Francisco. Now, it's a good thing we have a Republican General Assembly keeping the governor in check, and fighters like Jamie Comer and Rand Paul in Washington holding Biden accountable. And in the Senate, I'm working to make sure Kentucky punches above its weight. I fought for millions to rebuild East and West Kentucky after disaster struck. And I'm making sure our heroes in law enforcement get what they need to crack down on crime and plug the holes in Biden's open borders. When we send a united Republican government to Frankfurt this fall, we can finally put a stop to the defund the police movement. We can make sure our farmers and coal miners are taken care of. And we can help the middle-class families who are struggling in the Biden-Beshear economy. So this November, remember who gives Andy his marching orders. It's Biden and the same radical Democrats who want to weaken our troops, ban our gas stove, and turn the country into a socialist nation. Biden and Beshear aren't working for Kentucky. Andy might as well be on the White House payroll, and it's high time he was honest about it. But Kentuckians won't fall for it. We want someone who fights for us and our values. So let's give the shutdown governor a taste of his own medicine and vote Republican this fall.
Mitch is obviously deteriorating before our eyes, and I think it's time we found someone new to be Senate leader. This job is too important to have a stroked out turtle in charge, and he's basically become a liability to the party. The craziest part is Mitch doesn't even seem to realize he's lost a big portion of Republican support. McConnell is truly an example of everything that's wrong with this country, and he clearly represents the Washington Uniparty. Mitch is basically buddy-buddy with Joe Biden, and it's getting increasingly hard to see him as a conservative. In my opinion, McConnell's on the side of Chuck Schumer and Joe Biden, and also wants to see Trump gone forever. But I want to know what you guys think. Do you think McConnell's too old and corrupt to be Senate leader, or do you think he's doing a great job? Let me know in the comments section below. I'd love to hear from you guys. And when you're done with this video, make sure you head over to Instagram and check out our brand new Fast Zone News account. We'll be posting regular short form content, so make sure you hit the subscribe button on that as well. And I want to thank you guys for watching, and this has been another edition of Fast Zone News. Peace out.